Hi, this is Darren Lyle. Well, now that we've got the blocks of color down on our character here, I thought maybe we'd go ahead and start working on a few of the details. Maybe let's go ahead and work on the face here. I have switched to a Wacom Intuos tablet, just a little tiny one. You don't need anything big or expensive for this kind of thing, but you do probably need some sort of a pen and tablet. Painting with a mouse is like painting with a floor mop. You need something with a little more control. But before adding any more detail, let's go ahead and add a new paint slot here. Let's go to the Slots tab. And we've got our base color texture slot here. Let's go ahead and add a new diffuse color slot. And for this, remember that we originally created the color base map at 4096. So let's do 4096 here. And for the name, I'll call this color details. Now, one thing about adding paint slots like this is that if I went ahead and clicked OK now, I would get a black image over my original base colors, and I wouldn't be able to see through them. So I could either see one or the other, the color base or the color details. What I need to do is turn on alpha. So to do that, I can come over here and click on the swatch, and then I need to take the alpha from 1 all the way down to 0 here. Now that I've done that, I'll be able to see through this slot or this layer as I paint over the color base. So now that I've got that, I'll just click OK. And now we've got this color details image slot. Now notice we can't see the color base through here, but we can still see it through here. So as we paint on this image, we're going to be able to see through to the model. And also notice that the image menu down here has an asterisk, which means that that image file that we just created hasn't been saved to the hard drive yet. So what I'm going to do is I'll click that and save as image, and here I'll go ahead and save it as color details. Now that image has been saved out to the hard drive, and no asterisks here. So keep in mind, these color layers aren't like Photoshop or GIMP. They're a little bit more cumbersome in that every layer you create requires an actual external image file. So my suggestion is to keep the layers to a minimum and really not think of them as Photoshop or GIMP layers. So having said that, let's go ahead and start coloring some details on the face here. Let me go back to the Tools tab here. And what I'm going to do is turn on face selection mode here. And then I'll hover over the face and press the L key to select that. And that just ensures that I'm only going to be painting on the face. I'm also going to come down here in the UV map and just bring up the face here so I can see what I'm doing as I lay down color. I think I want to first of all sample the color of this face by hovering over it, making sure I'm in paint mode here. Good. I'm going to hover over it and press the S key to grab that color. And now I'm going to come in and maybe take this a little bit redder, and I'm going to paint some reddish tones into the face here, simply because usually people have a little more red in their face around the eyes and on the tip of the nose and things like that. I'm going to bring my strength down, and I'm going to turn on pressure sensitivity here. Okay, so let's just start seeing what we can do around the eyes here. So I'm just going to lightly paint in. Now I'm painting on the color base. Look at that. So this is kind of one of the things I was talking about keeping your layers organized. So I'm going to go to the color details now. Now I'm going to start painting. Brush strength down and maybe start painting just around the eyes here, just a little bit. You can see it coming in on the UV map there. And maybe just a little light. I'm going to give him a little on the chin. Maybe a little under the nose here. Coming down around here. Something like that. Okay, and there he is. So we're just getting a little bit of color to his cheeks and around the eyes here. That's all. Another thing we could do is maybe give him some freckles. So what I'll do again, now I could sample colors here in the 3D view, but the one thing I don't like about that is you're also picking up the color of the light and the specular highlights as well. So when I sample colors, I kind of like to go back to the original base color here. So I'm going to sample this color once again, go back to my color details, and this time make this a little bit darker, maybe a little bit more brown, and I'm going to try out a little bit of freckles here. Something like that. Now for the freckles, what I can do is use a tool called Jitter, and down here under Stroke, we can increase the jitter. So let's test this out here. You know what I should do is I should save. So I'm going to save the scene with Control or Command S, and then hover over the image here and press Alt S to save the image. That's good. I'm going to reduce the size of my brush here, and I'm going to increase the jitter. And what that should do is when I paint, it's going to, don't know if you can see that, let me increase the strength for just a moment here. So now you can see that when I paint here, it kind of scatters the paint strokes out a bit. So let me undo that. Let me come back down here, and maybe I'll increase the spacing, increase the jitter, reduce the size. Let's see how this works. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so now that I've got that, I'm going to come back up here, take the strength back down, and just try and get a few freckles coming onto his cheek and up his nose here. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, that may be too light. So you just have to find the strength that you like and test and undo and try again. And I'm just lightly dragging over the nose and the cheeks just to get him a few freckles there. What do you think? Is that okay? Do I need more? Maybe come out here some. Now I forgot to turn on face selection, but it kind of worked. Let me try that. Maybe a couple more on the nose. There we go. Freckles. All right. So I'm going to save the scene, hover over the image, Alt S to save the image. Okay. Maybe another thing I'll do on the face here is just redden up the lips just a little bit. Let me go back to the base color, sample it, details, and let me just drag this to a little bit more red again. Something like that. Take the strength down, turn the jitter off, take the spacing back down to maybe 10% or so. And let's try and get some of this color on the lips. Take the strength way down here. And this time I better turn on face selection, or else I'm going to paint on the teeth, and I wouldn't want that. So hit the L key just like that, and just very lightly come in and just add a little bit of color around the lips here. You don't need to make it look like he's got lipstick on, but just add a little color there. And let me look at how it looks in the... Now I could even come in here and paint on the inside in here. Now if you need to erase some, you can always hold the Control key down and erase what you've done there if you need to. All right, let's see how he looks. All right, I'll go with that. That's not too bad. So now we've got some color on the face and a few freckles. That'll work. That's all I really wanted to do for that. And once again, save the scene and save the image with Alt-S. Well, in the next video, we'll take a look at painting bump information using the texture paint tools here. So I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.